Hi guys, good morning. I'm finished. So it's November now, Scorpio, and addictions. That particular topic, wow, is coming up a lot. And I was going to do a video about it. I did a video about it ages ago, but I then didn't understand the levity of addictions because I hadn't gone as deep then. And so I'll find myself wondering about addictions. We're all addicted. People think when you talk about addiction, people automatically reach for drugs or alcohol or gambling or that sort of thing. But there's all kinds of addictions in life. Seemingly very innocuous ones that you wouldn't even realize is an addiction, and that you've been living your whole life, and then all of a sudden you think, hold on a minute, what if I don't really want to do that anymore, and you find yourself unable to stop doing it. It could have to do with certain ways of thinking, certain ways of behaving. It could even be a belief, because we get addicted to beliefs, don't we? This is what I believe, and something else comes along that tests that concept, but you're so addicted to the belief that it causes massive cognitive dissonance and you get very upset. So you try and talk to non-awake people about things and you get a very strong reaction because they're addicted to their beliefs. This is how it is. Addictions come in all shapes and sizes, but they have all got one thing in common, and that is that they keep us trapped. They keep us distracted in a negative loop. And the loop is always the same, it always functions the same in my experience, and that is of self-punishment. It is of the male principle not functioning properly. The reason we're addicted is because we're traumatized and because we're wounded, and that leads to behaviors that keep us from dealing with that. It's a mechanism. Addictions are a mechanism. Focus on that, do that repetitively. It makes you feel better. Anything to feel my inner being, to feel what's really going on inside of me. That's what I feel. For example, why do I feel the need to light this up? What would happen if I didn't light up this cigarette? Well, I would start feeling things, subtle nuances of emotion that are unpleasant and uncomfortable, that make me want to reject them as unsavory, not good, not acceptable, bad. Gotta push that away, push it away, light up a cigarette. Oh, it's gone now. Whatever it is you do, whatever your addiction is, it's there because you're not dealing or wanting to deal with something within. Now obviously here I am smoking, and even the thought of giving it up makes me feel uncomfortable, because I know that addictions are, I term it, the glass ceiling. Now the last time I gave up smoking, I knew it was a glass ceiling, and by giving it up, that would be removed, and it would all come up, and it did. It really did. There's a lot of people, for example, that stop smoking, that go into a very deep depression. And there's a reason for that, because the smoking has kept a lid, a glass ceiling, on those areas. It's kept it out of sight, out of mind, out of sight. And I think that's what addictions are at the core of it. I think that we have so much poison and trauma inside of us, so much programming and turgid, twisted dysfunction that we just don't want to look at. That we'll do anything not to look at them. So we become addicted to smoking or painkillers or porn or exercise. You know, there's shitloads of people out there, and you think to yourself, well, this is a really good thing, surely, but actually it's an addiction. People are addicted to going to the gym. People are addicted to yoga. People are addicted to exercising. People are addicted to food. People are addicted to buying shit they don't need. People are addicted to television programs. People are addicted to their smartphones. People are addicted to people pleasing. People are addicted to being nice. People are addicted to the new age. People are addicted to Donald Trump is a wonderful man and he's here to save us all. People are addicted to all kinds of stuff, and it's always about one thing, pretty much, which takes different forms in different people, but it all comes down to the same point of, I don't want to feel this. I don't want to deal with this. I must get away from it. It's bad. It should stay there in my subconscious, unacknowledged, unrecognized. I can't digest it, I can't deal with it. So I'll just go back to this, and it's a distraction. There's a great deal of fear there, because we feel that we're not going to be able to handle it, we're not going to be able to deal with it. It's so ugly, it's so dark, it's so bad, but it's us. It's a part of us. It's not who or what we are. It's the overlay. It's the trauma. It's the woundedness, the wounds that have been sustained by being in this realm. So then you find yourself at the crossroads, because you realise, okay, I understand, sort of, more or less, ish, what's going on here. And that if I do not engage in this behaviour, this action, it will result in things or emotions, feelings, notions, beliefs, programming, trauma of a negative nature coming up, and I won't be able to deal with that, because it will surely destroy me, or it will do me in. It's as if subconsciously, you know, we already know that we're full of shit. And the programming is, don't look at that, don't look at it, don't look at it. You can't handle it, it will destroy you, it will rip you apart. Whereas the truth is that you have the courage, the strength, the tenacity to face it, all of it, and to work through it with great self-compassion. We do have that ability, I know, because I've done that. And I'm no better than anyone else, believe me. So if I can do it, anyone can, believe me. I am no great, courageous hero, warrior, quite far from it. I mean, I sit here lighting this up and I don't even enjoy it. But when I do a video, I often feel a bit uncomfortable, because I'm putting myself out there, and I imagine certain people perhaps being very scathing or very hateful or whatever, and it hurts. It makes me feel very uncomfortable, even though it's really neither here nor there what other people think. We keep being told that, don't we? It doesn't matter what other people think, you know, and that if you get hurt and you care about what other people think, then somehow you're dysfunctional. Like, why do you care what other people think, you know? Just don't give a shit. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The New Age does that a lot. As if, you know, what's wrong with you? You care about what other people think. And I say to that, yes, we care. Why do we care? Because it fucking hurts. When you're being ripped apart by the dogs, hello. It's not as simple as that. The New Age always makes everything seem really simple, like you just go click and it's all fine, you know, and that's just utter nonsense. It's grindingly tough being the subject of other people's hate. I got a comment from some individual on my channel, and it was just narcissistic word salad, underhanded, manipulative abuse, and I had to block them. And it hurt. It upsets you, you know, because it's part of what this realm is. It's other people abusing other people. It's a cycle of perpetual, I am really wounded and fucked up and broken and narcissistic, so instead of dealing with my shit, I'll just go and take it out on somebody. And there's a great deal of jealousy and envy and all kinds of stuff. And yes, we care because it hurts. It doesn't mean we have to always be that way. We can move on. Because how we do that is by, when that happens, say, why is this hurting me? Why is this affecting me? And it always comes down to the same thing. If you believe, if somebody makes you feel worthless, it's because you believe you're worthless. So somebody else comes along, does something, says something that makes you feel worthless. You wouldn't feel that way. If you felt good and wholesome within yourself, it wouldn't bother you. It'd be like water off a duck's back. So when that shit happens and it comes around, then use it. Use it and say, okay, fair enough, this person has made me feel like this. They're obviously a narcissist and are a complete arsehole, and I'm switching off and walking away from this, or I'm blocking that person from my channel, or I'm just never going to speak to them again. However, why were they able to make me feel the way that I do? What lies within me that they triggered? Because they can't trigger something in you if it ain't there. Do you see what I mean? So use it. It's a valuable lesson, basically, you know, that can be utilized for greater self-awareness and healing. So that's okay. But you see, it hurts. And isn't that the point with addictions as well? We're trying to avoid things that hurt. Everybody in the world is addicted to something. I know this for a fact. It doesn't matter what it is, but they are. There's addictions everywhere. Addictions upon addictions upon addictions. And they're the chains that bind us. Because they keep us going around, catch-22, avoiding, disassociating. Oh, don't want to know, don't want to feel it. And so it's a trap. You get trapped in a room with no doors and no windows. And on top of that then, there's the self-punishment mechanism. I am so dirty, I am so bad, I am so worthless, I am so inadequate, inferior, because here I am doing it again, and I can't stop myself. I wish I could, but I can't. I wish I could, but I can't. And so what you're doing is you're focusing on the addiction, on your apparent inability to walk away or to give it up, because you're so afraid to feel what will come up when you do. Because when it comes up, often enough very strongly, the first thing you do is re-engage with the addiction. Because I can't feel this way, I can't deal with this, it's too much. It's like a tsunami of yuckness. The only way to deal with it is to feel it and to not judge ourselves for feeling whatever we are feeling, for everything that's coming up. Because remember, people, it's all lies. It isn't the truth. It's the clothes that we put on, you see, and you are not the clothes that you wear. If you drink poison, you are not poisonous, and that poison can leave the body. But this is all about behavioral programming. I see it in the world all the time. Like I've talked about before, parents do that to their kids, you know. It's like something happens at school and the kid gets very upset and there's a fight and you get home and the parents are like, what happened? You shouldn't fight, you're a bad person. Instead of sitting down and saying, what happens? This happens. Oh, see, how did that make you feel? Well, it made me feel like this. Why do you think it made you feel that way? You go into it, you have to self-examine, you have to introspect. It's all about recognizing all the myriad ways in which we've been programmed to trap ourselves in addictions in order to avoid healing. Something doesn't want us to heal, the virus wants to live. It's as simple as that, really. It's simple, but of course it doesn't feel simple. It feels really complicated and murky and difficult and painful and impossible. And it all harks back to the whole same old shit that runs this world. The meme that you're worthless, you're powerless, you're bad, you're inferior, you're inadequate, you're never gonna be alright, evil always wins, you're fucked. You're broken. I don't believe we are broken. We experience brokenness. And we experience it now more than ever before. Because everything is changing. The awakening is taking up a pace. It's picking up a pace big time. And so we're now in the darkest recesses of our being. Getting rid of some seriously nasty sludge here. We must start by A, acknowledging that we have an addiction, whatever it is. B, not punishing ourselves for being in that state, having that addiction, because it's not our fault. It was a coping mechanism that we developed because this world is like being under heavy bombardment from day one. So you develop coping strategies like everybody else around you. It's kind of like the hive mind. Everybody is addicted to something because we're all coping and we're all ignoring the elephant in the living room, or rather all the shit that sits there in your subconscious which runs the proverbial show, keeping you from transcending. It takes a great amount of courage, and it isn't an easy thing at all. And so you need to have self-compassion, you know, it's very important. We are not going to get anywhere by punishing ourselves. We're taught to do that because the system knows full well that self-punishment reinforces addictions. It drives it all down deeper, makes it stronger, and its hold over you becomes stronger through self-punishment. Self-compassion is very important, but you see there's the fear, and the fear is what leads to the self-punishment, I find, because it's the fear that I'm never going to be able to give this up. Oi! Sorry, just a minute. No. My cat likes to go into the bin. Anyway, there's nothing in there. No. You've just had your breakfast. See, he's addicted. He's addicted to empty cat food tins. Anyway, I don't have any answers really, any easy fix or remedy to offer, because I'm myself a bit stuck in a perpetual cycle of addiction here that I'm trying to find my way out of. And so all I can do is talk about my own experience as pertaining to this scenario, really. I know that the fear is always a powerful negative motivator in this type of stuff. The fear is that I can't give it up, I'm a failure, I'm always going to fail, because whatever comes up when I give up the habit will be too much for me to handle. It's better to just keep doing this. I won't be able to handle the discomfort. I won't be able to do that. So I better just keep smoking. I better just keep taking those pills. I better just keep watching porn. I better just keep buying shoes. I better just keep staring at my cell phone 24/7. I better just keep being really, really nice to everybody to avoid them being horrible to me. Because the discomfort of stepping out of your comfort zone feels very threatening and very frightening. And yet, it is the only way. It is the only way. And it requires courage and commitment. And so it's a case of don't give up giving up. If you fall back, you know, and you're having real trouble and you're really struggling, then you have to accept that's where you're at. But also accept that, you know, it's start to pay attention, basically. Be present with it. You're still engaging in the addiction. So be present with that. Be really, really present. How does this feel? What am I getting out of it? What is happening in my psyche, in my subconscious? What is coming up? How is this making me feel? Where is this taking me? Do I want to be there? What can I do? Tiny little steps. For me, just the awareness that I don't actually get any enjoyment out of this whatsoever. So I say, okay, I could give it up. What would happen if I did? Well, you'd have to deal with shitloads of emotions and other stuff that will come up from within you. And that's when the fear comes in and it says, oh, you won't be able to do that. You won't be able to handle that. Even though I did it before. You know, and I went into being a non-smoker very pleasantly and I was very happy about it. But of course the addiction, there was still some addiction left in me, otherwise I wouldn't be sat here right now doing it. It's about rooting it out, really. It's like an evil weed that you can't just rip it out because some of the roots will still be there and it will just grow back. It's literally going in there and excavating the fucker from the source. It's a bit of a journey, people. It isn't a case of, oh well, you just give it up and then everything is alright. That's not how it works. It really is more of it's more of a case of being really present with it, being patient with it, being compassionate with it. We will find a way through it if we do that. I do believe that. We will get to a point where we are able and ready to face that which needs facing and to release this addictive behavior, this addiction, to release it and to allow what needs to come up as a result to come up and to work through that. It's our destiny, people. It is. We are meant to be free. We're not meant to be slaves. We're not meant to be encircled by these dirty, rusty chains. We're Phoenix people. We're meant to transcend this shit. We're meant to be free. You see, because something is in the offering here. Something truly magnificent, I believe. I really do feel that. I feel that more now than ever before. The war that is raging within us and all around us is fear versus love. But again, it is more complex than it sounds. You know, it's not a sliding scale as they do in the New Age, where it's like, oh, fear and love. No, it's a bit more complex than that. We've been prisoners here to the fake persona, you know, the sort of, this is who I am. No, that's not who you are. That's just the fake persona created to help you navigate this matrix. And that's not who you really are. It's like, you know, back in the day, I used to watch, what was it, The $6 Million Man or something. You know, this guy had a few injections and he was like, you know, and I was a kid, you know, and I used to imagine, as kids will, that I had superpowers. And I used to, in my child's mind, think that people actually believed I had superpowers and saw me that way. Well, that's kind of like the fake persona, really. You know, it's like you think yourself to be this, Literally, it's this whole murky illusion of who and what you are that you think other people see, and often enough it's what you think you want to be. I want to be this way, I am this way. But what you want to be is detrimental and toxic. It isn't who you really are. Again, it's programming. Because what we really are, we're told is either impossible, delusionally impossible, and unacceptable. You have to toe the line, you have to fit in. It's, oh boy, there's so many different nuances to it, man. The programming to keep us trapped in the prison state of consciousness, when out of that into our true self, we are infinite possibility and infinite creativity, and that is what the virus fears more than anything. So it will do anything in every imaginable, complex, massive, insane way to keep us trapped. Now we know that. We're gaining traction because we're really getting to understand what's going on here. And addiction is a massive factor in all of it. It really is. Addiction is distraction. And beating yourself up will not help you solve it. It won't. It's only being really present with it. Understand what it is, what it's doing to you, why it is there. Go into your subconscious, subterranean self and find out what is happening there. It's all about being really present and being being gentle with yourself. And realizing that it's because of trauma, because of woundedness, because of programming, because of dysfunction, which isn't yours. Those are just the clothes that you wear that you can take off by the by. It's not who you are. It's not your true self. I truly believe this is coming up right now for a massive reason, because I'm coming across quite a lot of people who are really going through this entrapment, addiction thing. I am one of them. And if it's really coming up, then it's time for liberation. It comes up for a reason, for sure. So whilst I don't have any answers as to do this or do that or whatever, I don't. I can only speak from personal experience. But my intuition and my experience does say that it is all about freedom. This is all about empowerment. This is all about transcendence and alchemy. Everything within us that is dark and putrid can be taken as a raw material and alchemized into power. I do believe that. That's what it's all about. Nothing goes to waste, people. It's an experience, it's a quest. And nothing goes to waste. It doesn't have to. So be gentle with yourselves. Gentle with me. But with regards to addictions, when you're in it, in the construct of the addiction, work out the mechanism, work out why, how, when. Work on that and be gentle with yourselves, okay? Because you didn't do this to yourself. This is trauma. When you find that the fear gets really strong of, oh, I'm never going to be able to get out of this, I'm never going to be alright. That gives rise to the beating yourself up. I've got to control, you see, power, force, control. Oh, I've got to give it up now, woo. And then that leads straight back into the addiction again, always. So don't do that. Be aware of that and say, no, I'm not doing that, okay. I've just lit up, or I've just done this again, or I've just gone there again. Fear, powerlessness. I've got to stop doing this, what's wrong with me? Whoa, okay, let that go a little bit by the by, let that go. I'm doing the best that I can. I'm finding this really, really difficult. I'm hurting. I'm feeling really trapped here. I feel worthless, I feel powerless, I feel really, really shit here. Okay. And once that's the first hurdle, once you've acknowledged that and you can accept that, that's very good. That's a very good step. And from there, you take another little step and another little step. And I truly feel that we will transcend this shit. We're meant to. That's why it's coming up so strong. That's why it's in our faces. You see? It's no longer there in the unawareness. It's here in the awareness, and it's like, I can't do this anymore. I can't take this anymore. I hate being a slave. Good. See? So we're getting there. We are. It may not feel that way, but we are. And that's what matters, you know. And you're not alone. I'm here. I'm addicted. I have addiction problems. And I love myself anyway, because I'm aware, I'm working on it, I have courage, and I think that's incredible. And I think you all are too, and that we can do this, we can beat this fucker. We're meant to. Alright people, all my love to you, have a good week, yeah? Just don't give up giving up. Just keep going. It doesn't matter if you fail once, twice, 3 times, 10 times, 20 times, it doesn't matter. As long as you never give up, as long as you keep getting back up and at it. With love, with compassion, with self-acceptance, with gnosis, you will win. Never give up, people.